Saturday, July 14th was the inaugural event for the Totally Thoroughbred Horse Show hosted at Pimlico Racehorse, home of the second leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes. I arrived at the show at about 8:30 in order to set up. I was a vendor at the show. As I arrived, it was raining. Very unfortunate for such an enterprising event that was being planned for the day. But nevertheless, the clouds looked like they were going to clear up, and hopefully we were going to have a nice day. The first thing I noticed when I got there were the long lines for people entering, which I thought was kind of odd, since I had assumed that there was a number of pre-entries for the event. Anyway, I set up and did a little bit of sort of sneaking around, and what I learned quite quickly, as the clouds did clear up, thankfully, that there were 180 horses, thoroughbreds, pre-entered for this event. And that obviously didn't preclude the numbers that were going to enter on the day, and the long lines for those entries. So actually, ultimately, 300 plus horses entered for this event, in making about 800 entries. So those numbers are simply, I believe, mind-boggling. Nevertheless, they probably created some logistical wrinkles that the show organisers didn't entirely anticipate. But you got the sense through the day that despite the numbers, the contestants were simply just proud to be part of this inaugural event. And because of that, were sort of willing to sort of wait around perhaps a little bit longer in order to get into their contest, or whatever it is that they plan to do for that day. Certainly, talking to a few of the contestants, you really got a sense of pride that they were on a thoroughbred. They really sort of seemed to feel that they knew about this secret, that the thoroughbred was the horse, and so on and so forth. So it was kind of very neat to sort of see that and experience that. The events started off with lead line classes with little kids, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? How many entries are you going to get for something like that? And really, thoroughbred lead line, does that truly make sense? Certainly, the perception of thoroughbred being a little bit flighty and so on and so forth, you might anticipate these weren't the popular classes, but nevertheless, 20, 30, 40, you kind of give up counting. Certainly from a horse racing perspective, when you see more than 6 horses in the field, you think that's a full field. There were plenty of horses in these lead line classes, and what a myth dispelling sort of event that is. You see these thoroughbreds walking around, these little kids, so cute, kind of been, some 5-year-old kids, 6-year-old, maybe younger and younger. And it was absolutely delightful. Some of the kids dressed up in their sort of showing outfits, and some in their jockey gear, and certainly some aspiring jockeys and hopefully owners, trainers, and horsemen in those classes. So that was fantastic. And then the shows sort of evolved to walk, trot, canter classes and a variety of other classes. And I'll tell you, Stuart Pittman, who was the judge for these classes, what a mammoth task he had on his hands. Some of those classes were 50 plus. How do you figure out who wins with the 50 plus classes? Completely beyond me. During one class, I tried to figure out the winner. I thought I had it nailed. Unfortunately, that horse wasn't even picked in the top 6, so clearly I'm clueless on this stuff. But nevertheless, Stuart Pittman did an amazing job. Later in the day, there were jumper classes, lots and lots of action, just all day long. Lots of horses, lots of activity, lots of support, and just that sense that everybody was part of something that would perhaps lead from here to something much, much bigger. HRTV was there to cover the event, other media were there, that was terrific. The big wigs from the Maryland Jockey Club were there. Obviously they were co-sponsors of the event, the same with the Dean of Springs folks. Pretty much half of Pimlico administration was there, which was fantastic. You have to wonder, has there ever been an event of this scale? Has there ever been an event where 300 plus thoroughbreds have participated in one day in a sporting event? I would be very interested to hear of other events, and I would say that I'm a big believer that this event will help change the perception of the thoroughbred. There are plenty of off-track thoroughbreds out there, plenty of people supporting them, and it was great to see them all together in one place. What a terrific job of putting this together by principally, I believe, Georgianne Hale of the Maryland Jockey Club, Stacey Clark of Adena Springs, and just all the other support those folks had, because clearly to put on an event like this, it takes a lot of people, a lot of effort, and a lot of coordinated effort. It was an absolutely fantastic celebration of the thoroughbred, and one can only imagine some of the things that will come from this event going forward to really show that the thoroughbred is truly an animal that has many qualities, not just speed that we love in our horse racing, which is obviously very important for us, but all the qualities of intelligence, agility, and willingness to learn, and the need for wanting to have a job to do these other wonderful things. What a terrific day. Thank you very much, everybody, for putting it together.